This little gizmo here, as far as I can tell, is the cheapest remote ID module that you can get right now. I picked this one up on Amazon for around $30. Right now it's selling for around $39, but you can get one that looks exactly the same, just has a different name on it for $29. Now, the main purpose of these is to comply with FAA remote ID regulations for your drone. If you have an older drone that doesn't have remote ID built in, or you built your drone yourself, you can just take one of these, register the serial number onto the FAA website, and then hook it up to your phone, enter all the information that's required onto this device, and then your drone will be remote ID compliant. But most of my drones, like the Avata 2, are already remote ID compliant by default, so I have a slightly different use in mind for this remote ID module, and that is helping me find my Avata when I crash it. Now, for some reason on DJI's FPV drones, like the Avata 2, they don't have the same feature that they have on the regular camera drones, where you can just look in the app and see on a map where the drone is at. And this can really be a problem when you crash your drone somewhere out in a field or something and you aren't sure exactly where to look for it. And I've actually nearly lost my drone a couple of times because of that. So with this remote ID module, I'll just be able to look in a remote ID viewer app and see what the current location of the remote ID module, and therefore of my drone, is, and be able to find it more easily when I crash. Now, you might be wondering, why don't I just use the built-in remote ID on the Avata 2 for that? And the reason that won't work is that DJI drones stop transmitting once you land. They only transmit while you're flying. And so after you've crashed the drone, it stops transmitting any remote ID information, whereas this little transmitter will keep on transmitting whether the drone is in the air or not. So I just hooked the transmitter up to the app and just stuck in some information so that I can identify my drone. And I've got some Velcro on my drone here and Velcro on the remote ID tracker. So we'll just get that all connected to it. So I'm just gonna take off with this drone, fly it out into a field, and then cut the props, and then see if I can find it using the remote ID tracker. So got the drone in the air, going to flip it into manual mode and go ahead and rip out to the field out here. And we're gonna find a nice spot of soft grass. Come down nice and low so that we don't have too much damage when it falls. And we're gonna cut the props. All right, so the drone has now officially crashed somewhere out in the field, and I don't know where it is. So now what do I do? Well, enter the remote ID drone tracking system. So you'll need some kind of a remote ID viewer app. The remote ID viewer in the Ruko app doesn't seem to work well for me, so I just downloaded another remote ID viewer app by the name of Drone Scanner. So if we fire that up and wait a moment and another moment, we will see a little arrow on the map showing where we are currently located. And as you can see, currently 0 drones are being detected. And the reason for that is that I am too far away from the drone for it to be picked up. And from some previous testing that I did, I figured out that the range of this remote ID module is roughly 300 feet, which means that you need to have at least a general rough idea of where the drone is, which you can usually get a concept of by looking at the feed before loss in the goggles. But in this case, I already have a pretty good concept of the general area where we crashed, so we're gonna head out there. So as I'm heading out toward the drone's location, I'm gonna keep an eye on my phone here and see when we start to pick up some kind of signal from a drone. So now I'm starting to get into the general area. I know that the drone crashed somewhere out here in this field. And as I look at my phone here, I can see that it has detected a drone. And it tells me that the drone is 0.07 kilometers away, so fairly close. And as I look on the map, I can see where the drone is, where I am, and what my direction is in relation to the drone. And as I turn around, you can see it changes what direction the arrow is pointing. So now I can see that I am pointed straight at the drone. So I'm gonna go ahead and start heading in that direction using this as a guide. All right, we are honing in even closer here. And as you can see, we're heading a little bit up to the right, so we're just gonna keep headed straight toward it. And obviously you'll also want to watch where you're going so you don't fall into a hole or run into a tree or step on it. But as you can see, it is showing that we are very close to the drone. It looks like now we are just above it slightly, so I'm going to turn and move toward where it says the drone should be. And I am currently right on top of the drone marker, and I don't see the drone. So now what do we do now? And now the GPS has updated and it says that I am still a little ways from the drone and that I need to go up this way a little bit. Gotta be careful I don't fall in a hole here. Now it says I'm too far this way. As you can tell, the GPS isn't 100% accurate. Now it's telling me I need to go this way. So clearly I'm pretty close to the drone and the GPS is just positioning me in all kinds of different directions. So now is the point in finding the drone where two other things come into play. One of those is just looking around on the ground and just searching for it. In a fairly narrow area, you can just search every square inch of ground and have a pretty good certainty that you'll be able to find it. And the other thing is that there is a setting in the goggles that we can turn on to make the drone beep. So I am going to go ahead and do that. I am just going to come down here to settings, go to safety, and then we're gonna scroll down to ESC beeping and turn that on. And now I can hear the drone beeping somewhere right up here. I hear it. Where is it? And right here it is. We've got our drone. Now, obviously, finding your drone with this isn't just a magical silver bullet. You first got to be able to look in the goggles and see the rough area where you should be going to look for the drone. Then it is super helpful to be able to look on your phone and see a GPS point to get closer to the drone's final location. And then finally, it is super useful to be able to make the drone beep and be able to pinpoint its location the last little bit by using that. So all in all, what do I think about the Ruko and rebranded as a whole bunch of other brand names Remote ID module? How well does it work for helping you find your drone, as well as for the originally intended purpose of being a Remote ID module to comply with FAA's Remote ID? For complying with Remote ID, I think it's a great option. As long as you have one of these approved modules strapped to your drone and are complying with the regulations, you should be good to go. And for finding my drone, while I do wish this had a little bit of a longer range, this is something that I will probably be flying with strapped to the back of my Avata 2 in quite a few circumstances, especially when I don't know the area as well and think I might have a harder time finding my drone if I do crash. And if you want to get one of these little Remote ID modules, I will put a link down in the description, both to the Ruko version that I have right here and to the cheapest rebranded version for about $10 less as well. And guys, if you want to learn how to create professional cinematic drone videos to help you stand out from the hundreds and thousands of other drone pilots out there, make sure to head over to flyingfilmmakerpro.com, where you can watch my completely free 45-minute drone filmmaking training, as well as check out my full course, and those will also be linked down in the description. Otherwise, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to see more videos just like it.